Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Having a technical difficulty. I was like, oh crap, I'm not doing anything that I'm supposed to be doing. I was like, why is nothing working?
Oh,
Such
I'm.
it
It's
is
all
work.
right. You're totally fine. I made an entire movie on this thing, so if you need any help, let me know.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you? That's handy. I'm like, how do I do that? No, we're good. I was just making sure it was on speaker view because then it can go between the two.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's we when we actually shot that film, we had to do I it was like we had to say it every single time. We had to have people record, but because it was during COVID, we had to like trick it into doing HD. So you had to do like speaker gallery speaker, and it was the only way it would do large files when recording. Otherwise, it'd be like super small and like unusable, like little boxes that'd be like that big, and you just couldn't see anything. It was insane. But
It's twitchy. That's why I prefer it on like a speaker view, so you can just go between
oh
it.
yeah, yeah, because yeah, and then like you can just take the singular boxes and just edit them
Yeah.
however you want. Make me say whatever stupid shit I'll probably end up saying.
You like stupid shit. Well, when I say we, I mean everybody. Everybody likes stupid shit.
Pretty much.
It's all good fun. But hello anyway. Sorry, we're just like messing about with Zoom. So, how are you doing? Are you doing good?
Yeah, no, I'm exhausted. It's been a whirlwind of a couple of months. So, but it's been good. It's been good. I was out last night. There was a party that was going on that my friend invited me to. So I ended up going there, but it was only supposed to be like a couple hours, but we went pretty late. So I'm still
Oh,
recovering
happens.
from it.
You still recovered. Oh, bless you. Is this like an early, like having to get up early just to come do this? You
Oh
can't.
yeah. Oh no. I mean, for me, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but I've just been starting writing a little bit more today. But yeah, no, I wasn't expecting like it to be like it was like a mixer for the Emmys, but I was expecting it to be like one of those like little miniature mixers. I don't know. It's like New York has like a lot of like different festivals that kind of name themselves after other things.
Yeah.
So I was kind of expecting that. So I kind of underdressed a lot, just thinking. And then I show up and everyone's in like black suit, black tie, like dresses. I was like, oh, I guess the Thanksgiving sweater is not the look for today. So yeah.
Hilarious. Have you got pictures of what you're wearing? I'm such a weirdo.
No, there were pictures taken, which I'll probably end up posting whenever I get my hands on them. But it was like just like a nice like blue sweater and like black pants and stuff.
Cute.
And I just wore like my I have like a long pea coat that makes me look like a 90s TV show villain because of the long hair everywhere I go. So yeah, I just looked like every 90s villain at this place. It was great. It was great times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So I've got some questions. I try and keep it kind of more like a conversation than like answer this. Now answer this. So I just
Hey,
but I've got
whatever.
like subjects. There you go. Oh dear, this is gonna be a long day today. I don't even know what I'm doing. So
You're totally fine.
can we go into your sort of like past and how you got into doing everything you've done?
Oh
Like
God.
it's gonna be it's like no pressure, no pressure.
So when I was 3 years old, no, I'm just kidding. I won't go back down to the back that far. I've always just always been in love with film and movies and stuff like that. I mean, joking, all jokes aside, when I was a kid, my dad used to have a ritual where he'd go downstairs after the workday and he'd put on a movie and he'd watch downstairs. And so what they would put, my mom would put me to bed, and then she'd go downstairs, and they'd put on a movie, and it would be like 9 times out of 10 to be like some like Charles Bronson movie or like some action movie or whatever, and I would sneak downstairs, and I'd hide right by the steps, and as the movie would end and they'd come upstairs, they'd find me passed out because I would just be so obsessed with watching films and stuff like that. And Originally, I just wanted to be an actor, but then realized I'm not that good of an actor. Um, and really and truly, like I've always just been in love with cinema, just with all of this. And funny fact, I actually used to be petrified of horror films.
Yeah.
I could not watch them. I would go into the horror aisle and I'd get freaked out from the box covers and all that stuff. And it wasn't until I saw, so it was something about the trailer. I don't know what it was. It was once I saw Army of Darkness in the theater, everything changed for my life. It opened like a Pandora's box, and I became obsessed with this movie. And I had been obsessed with like RoboCop and like growing up and Ghostbusters, and I guess the writing was on the wall and like Indiana Jones and all these, but like Army of Darkness was really the film that really like opened me up. And then I saw the Evil Dead series backwards. Evil Dead 2, because Evil Dead was completely out, and my father was trying to get me to really push for the Jewish faith and be a really good Jewish boy and go get bar mitzvahed. And he lost this battle because I discovered Evil Dead 2 and I obsessed over it. And so and then when I saw Evil Dead, to me, it was the scariest film I've ever seen in my life. Which is funny looking at it now. But I mean, like, to me, it's the greatest independent horror film, but it's also just a film that like took me 3 tries to watch. I could never get through it. I was just petrified, never seen anything like it. And then I just fiend for more. I started watching like Joe Bob Briggs, Monster Vision. And when that show got canceled, there was a hole in my heart. Became an insomniac from it. And I was like, I need more of this. I need more horror. So I just went to the video center, like a Blockbuster back then, or Hollywood Video, and I would just show up and I would rent like 15 movies, the amount of limit, and the people there thought I was going to be an axe murderer. They all thought I was fucking crazy and shit. Um, I started up a horror website and started going to cons, started being able to interview people, and it just spiraled into I'm like, I want to make films. It was always something I wanted to do. And I said, screw it. Like, it's either I'm going to keep doing this website or I'm going to make films. So I went to move to New York and started making movies and been here ever since, really.
That's wicked. Such I love like because I asked Michael Levy the same question and I seem to want to ask everybody. It's like because I like to see the journey to go from like just somebody who it's usually because how it's what everybody said. They usually start out watching stuff and then it's like, what is this? And then they're and I love like, hearing how you go from just because I watch movies, but I couldn't do a movie. I wouldn't know what to even like even where to start. So it's just really interesting to see somebody go from just like a regular person, like everybody else, and then they go off and they do their own thing, and it's really cool. It's
Oh, thanks. I mean, yeah, I always say that like you have to you have to have a couple screws loose to really be in this industry because it's not, there is no job security. This is not like one of those jobs or careers where it's like, if I put in enough time, eventually I'm gonna, get promoted and all that stuff. I know great filmmakers that have made several films that their films have never caught on. They have like a good indie cult following, but nobody even, they've never been in a theater or anything like that. And it's definitely something. It's one of those careers that it's like you should do it if it's like if you're passionate about it and it's the only thing you can see yourself doing. It's one of the things that's like for me, I have always surrounded myself with films. I mean, I'm a big physical media collector. Um, I I own like 2,000, well over 2,000 like DVDs and Blu-rays in my apartment in New York, which is very overwhelming for space and stuff like that. But I was even back home. I used to grab a camera and just run around and film random stuff. And then once I moved to New York, I went to a film school where we shot 8 films in a year. Some of them you can find online. I'm not going to tell people where to find them because they're pretty rough.
Oh,
But like, they're scattered all over the place. And then like, I just kept on. I worked in the industry. So I worked in every single position. I worked on films like Dark Knight Rises. I worked on Premium Rush. I worked on one of Robin Williams's last movies. Like I've worked on big stuff, little stuff, and all the while just constantly, continually making films and making more stuff, and just trying to go bigger and better with everything I do. You know, my first feature, which will has still has yet to see the light of day. I have no control over it. Um, is wasn't even a horror film. It was a murder mystery comedy, like, and it was like the combination of Clue meets the Birdcage. Um, oh yeah, and it's, you know, we shot at some of the biggest spots. Like we shot at the St. Regis, we shot at the Jane where they shot John Wick. Oh, sorry, John Wick 2. Um, we shot the King Cole Bar, the Vanderbilt Manor. Like these locations were insane that we were shooting at. And as my first feature, it was like a great like, oh, let's try throw everything in the kitchen sink in and just try to make whatever we can. Um, and then I made a couple more films after that, and then during COVID did Dark Offerings, and I just kept steamrolling everything now, trying to make more stuff as we go and pushing, you know, all the projects that I'm either involved with or directing or anything. You know, it's I love the film community that's out here. So I'm kind of rambling, but
No, no, ramble away, ramble away. That's what I like. I prefer somebody just to go, just say what you want, say anything you want. It's totally fine. I was going to actually ask you about your projects because I know there's a couple. Well, there's a couple I've got my eye on that are not out. Like excuse me, couldn't talk there. So you got Night of the Living Dead 2. What's
yeah.
happening with that? I know you still got stuff to do.
So I mean, right now we're basically in the pre-production phase of it, where I'm finishing up the newest draft of the film. This is like draft, I don't even know. But I'm in like the back end of it. So, and then we're just raising money to so that we can actually shoot it. We shot a sizzle a little while ago, which came out amazingly well. And we had it's reunited Laurie Cardill, Terry Alexander, and Jarlath Conroy for the first time since 1985. And they are incredible on screen. They're just incredible human beings. I've worked with Terry on several films, and I actually have a clause in all my contracts that's a Terry Alexander clause that he has to be in a film, and he also cannot die. Spoilers, but I will not let I just absolutely love that man. So as long as he keeps saying yes, I will keep casting him in everything I do. But yeah, no, we're really trying to make something with this film that truly sets itself apart from the other, you know, from everything else, and we're trying to tell our own story. You know, this isn't just like another retread. This isn't just you know, like using the name and being like, okay, we're gonna make a cheap little thing. We're at, you know, I really am trying to make something that has at its core a good story, a good message, great character performances, and obviously tons of gore, but also like some good social commentary, just like all the other films that Romero has, you know, created. I mean, he left such an amazing blueprint for the zombie genre. I mean, you know, you look at shows like Walking Dead, or, you know, or any of these new zombie films or shows that have come out, and every single one of them owes something to night, dawn, day, land, all of them. It's insane. It's like he made three perfect movies. He made Night, then he made Dawn, and he made Day. And any day of the week you can ask me which is my favorite, and chances are it'll flip-flop depending upon which one I watched. The most recently was what did I see? Oh, it was Dawn and Damien and I, we went to go see Dawn of the Dead in 3D. And I was just like, wow, this is, you know, my favorite now. And then we'll rewatch Day of the Dead, and it'll end up being my favorite again. And I just think that they're incredible films. But when it comes to this one, the best way to say it is going to be its own story. It's going to have its own characters and everything like that, and it's going to live in that world, but it's not going to just be, you know, relying on that world, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. I've got to ask you because you said about it now, and I'm just like, I have to stir the pot a bit. What do you think of the remake?
Which remake? There's so many remakes.
That's true. Dead 2004 remake. I think it was 2004.
So I really enjoyed that one. First of all, I'm a huge James Gunn fan. I think James Gunn is one of the best writers that is out there today. I think this guy, he just has a knack. Like you look at some of the old films that he did, that he wrote, and you're just like, they just pop. He just has a way with characters and dialogue and hitting comedy right on the head. And I think to me, I think the remake of Dawn of the Dead is more of an action film. I don't think it's, as influential. I don't think it's as powerful as as Romero's Dawn of the Dead. I think as like putting it on, like I mean, you can't go wrong with Ving Rhames running around, and some of the sequences are great. The opening sequence, I think, is one of the best
Yeah,
opening sequences of that generation, you know what I mean, of like of the 2000s, early 2000s. It's just, the only other film that I can compare that opening sequence to, which I think is one of the best openings to one of the weakest films, I was not a big fan of it, is the second 28 days later, 28 weeks later.
mm,
That opening to 28 weeks later is, I've I don't think it was until I saw Uncut Gems that I've ever had like a panic attack watching an opening of a movie.
yes,
And then in that 10 minutes, if that was just the whole movie, it probably would have been my favorite zombie movie of all time. It was just insane.
it
Well,
was.
it's not even a zombie movie, infected movie.
Yes,
Uh,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean there's a lot. I've rewatched that remake a lot of time. I put it on in the background. It's a very fun and entertaining movie. And I think as also as Zack Snyder's first big film, I think it's a hell of a like footprint for him to start off his career with.
oh, 100%, 100%. Like you were saying, even the first sequence in that, like even like the intro and everything, I was like, oh, it was just awesome. Like all the footage all spliced together, and then you've got the beginning where like her boyfriend gets attacked by that little girl. I was like, oh, you're not playing about, are you? I was like, bloody hell. I'm not gonna lie. I sat in the cinema constantly just going, I'm okay. And I'm not usually bothered, but I was a bit like, I'm feeling really uncomfortable today. I don't know why. But it
Oh,
was
totally.
fun.
I mean, and then you mix it with the right after with the Johnny Cash song, which had just come out. I think it's the oh I hear it playing in my head. When the man comes around.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm a huge Johnny Cash fan, so like
It,
so like hearing that in there, that was blasting away. I was just like, yes. I think that's in the opening, or is that in the ending? I know it's no. It is the opening. The ending has Disturbed.
yeah, Down with the Sickness, yeah.
Yeah. Which is also a great ending. The ending, like the writing in that film is just so. I rewatched it recently, and I was just like, yeah, the writing in this movie is just so well done. But once again, James Gunn. I mean, he made people poo a lot on the Scooby Doo movies, which they're not great, but like if you really look at James Gunn's script of Scooby Doo 2, it's a very stupidly fun script. I do wish that we did get his original Scooby Doo 2, which was like an R-rated stoner comedy, apparently.
Oh,
Uh,
I don't know about that. What do you know anything about it? I'm so nosy.
Oh, well, he wanted to make it like an R-rated movie, and then like the studio's like, listen, this is Scooby-Doo, okay? We need this to be PG, like for kids and stuff like that. So it didn't. I don't know if he even wrote it. I just know that was something he pitched. And to me, that's amazing.
It sounds like now we need like because we're getting some like kiddie type genres going into horror now, and it's
Yeah.
like it sounds like now we need like a Scooby Doo, like an adult Scooby Doo.
Well, I think that they have one now. Now there's like a new one that, although I don't know, I don't think it's got Scooby in it. It's weird. There's like a new um Scooby Doo show, I guess, where it's called, I think it's called Velma. And it's about her. and the gang, but there's no Scooby, and I guess like she's a lesbian now, and it's like it's a very I don't I think I watched like a second of the trailer and it looks somewhat gory. I'm like, we're getting all these crazy like awesome like R-rated childhood stories. Like like the Winnie the Pooh movie that's gonna be coming out soon.
Yeah.
Um, which could be good. I don't know. I think it's these could also all be gimmicks, but I mean like look, I'm gonna watch it. You got a friend of mine's film the Grinch or sorry, you can't say that. The Mean One, which stars David Howard Thornton. Um and I'm stoked for that one. I really am. And then there was another, yeah, and then there's that. Then I think I heard that something else is getting made that's like in that realm, and I'm just, I'm excited. I'm excited to see at least what these are.
Yeah, they had like Gretel and Hansel, I think it was called. I've not watched it. I don't.
Oh, that one. Yeah, no, I saw that the one that came out. It came out like a couple of years ago or something like that.
I
Yeah,
don't.
it was. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Like you said, it could be just gimmicky. I'm definitely going to give Me One a go because David is hilarious. Anyway, his act. I was just messing around with things the other day there and playing with like just edits, and I was just watching his face. Like I don't think I actually really twig how animated he is until you sat there watching like right up close. And you're like, bloody, that's hilarious, and it makes it even funnier. So I think he's going to nail that. But I've not really watched any of the other like sort of kiddie type horror movies. I'm like, I think it's
Yeah.
gone too silly for my liking. I don't know. Well, we had a chat about what kind of movies we like, so we're pretty damn sick. So
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
off.
100%. I mean, I'm a huge fan of 70s and 80s horror films. Like some of my favorites. I mean, if I'm gonna take out like like the classic films, you know what I mean? Like like I could list I could give you an argument for why every single John Carpenter film is the greatest movie ever made, including Ghosts of Mars, which one of my friends is the only person. Mr. Scooter McRae is the only person I have on my side on that one. I fucking love Ghosts of Mars. I don't care how much shit I get for it. I think it's a great movie. Um, but yeah, I mean, like like I love one of my favorite films is Black Christmas, Bob Clark's, the original Black Christmas, and I think to me that is one of the most underrated slashers ever made, and it's getting like a good resurgence. But I think it should be way up there, a lot more. But like yeah, like like I love gory, sleazy slashers and all that stuff. I never realized how much I love slashers until I really started going through my collection and being like, oh, so 98% of all my films are horror, and about 80% of those are all just random slashers from everything. I was like, oh,
Slashers are brilliant fun. Like I like zombies and slashers. They're like my favorite. Or really psychological, messed up films where you're like, oh god, you're
yeah.
like paranoid after you watch them and stuff. It's like
Oh
that's
yeah. I,
cheap.
I love those ones. I mean, I'm also a big monster movie guy. Like I love a good monster movie, like a Pumpkinhead or the remake of The Fly, or even Jeepers Creepers scared the ever loving crap out of me when I saw it in the theaters. I went in blind into that movie, okay? I
Mm-hmm.
only heard it was this is okay. I'm gonna age myself here. I was in an AOL chat, and I was running my horror movie review website at the time, and I was just in there. I'm like, oh, just looking for new horror films to go see and review. And these people were like, oh, there's two new films that just came out. It's Jeepers Creepers and Joyride, and I remember I went to the theater and like the first like 5 minutes of Jeepers Creepers, I'm sitting there and I'm rolling my eyes. I see like the extremely long company name. It's like Zoetrope, Zealand, all this stuff, and I'm making fun of it. And like, I'm being a dick in the theater. I'm just being like I'm not being loud. I'm not a heathen. But like I'm just being an asshole. And then I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be the worst fucking movie. I said something to myself, and that fucking truck came up and wailed on its horn and I literally shrunk into my seat, and I was just like I shut the fuck up. Don't think I even breathed for the next 30 minutes. I think when I exhaled is when like Derry smashes his hands on the car when Trisha's like trying to freak out and he comes out. I could not believe how well it was how well that was done. I was like, holy shit. And the whole movie, I love the whole movie. Um, but like I love the idea of like a good monster movie because I feel like nowadays we don't really get that. We don't really get the big creature movies. Like I haven't seen, like a Pumpkinhead at all. Like I don't want to spoil some like one of the recent films that just came out that had like a creature, but it wasn't a creature. I think you know which film. I don't want to name it because it kind of spoils everything.
The one that I dissed, and you were like, "What the hell?"
Yes, it actually it has we'll say it has a uh a character, an actor from Jeepers Creepers in it. We'll leave it at that.
It's my
Um,
favorite.
but I'm probably already spoiling it already, but
You can.
I will say this.
I'll put a thing in of like there will be spoilers, people. So you come into it,
Yeah.
so go for it, go nuts, go nuts. We can have an
Oh,
argument
okay.
about
Fuck
it.
it. Well, I mean, no, I thought Barbarian. Barbarian was one of those movies um that was just truly like it had like a really cool creature. It had like a cool, concept. And that was a film that like going in blind was just as I start telling people everything about it. Um yeah, the best way to see this movie is to know nothing about it. By the way, this is what happens in the movie. But
Be
it was
warned,
just
be warned.
yeah,
You go for
but
it.
I think any movie that has just if it's a horror movie with Justin Long, shit's not gonna go well for him, number one.
No.
And number two, I'm probably going to love it because I love Drag Me to Hell. I love Jeepers Creepers. I love Barbarian. Um, I love parts of Tusk. I'm a big Kevin Smith guy, but Tusk for me is it's so
It,
there's like
yeah, I get that actually. I agree. I agree.
yeah, but I mean I can watch Justin Long in any horror film and still feel bad for him knowing that shit's gonna go very, very, very bad for this poor guy. Like
I mean, he was an
what
asshole in Task, to be
was
fair.
that?
He was an arsehole in Task.
Oh, totally. But I mean, he didn't deserve what he got. I mean, that was like human centipede type shit. I mean, damn.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true, true. It was great. I watched it with my friend and we had a right laugh while watching it. We decided to she's in Norway and I'm in the UK, so we managed to like get it up and managed to like watch it together. And I was howling. I just thought it was really funny. I don't know though. She's like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "It's funny." You
Well,
know?
that and like Michael Park, right? He rest in peace. That guy knew how to like pull an incredible performance, and no matter how insane the dialogue, no matter how insane the concept, he was always just incredible. I mean, he's incredible in From Dusk Till Dawn, even though he's only in like 4 minutes of it before he gets his brains blown out by George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino. Like, and sorry, not sorry, but if you haven't seen From Dusk Till Dawn, then you should not be on here, and you should be going to
No.
watch From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes. Stop now. Go watch From Dusk Till Dawn. Fucking
We'll
class.
wait. We'll
Brilliant.
wait.
Brilliant. Absolutely fab. It was like going back to Jeepers Creepers. I was actually talking to Michael Levy, and he was saying about it, and he said it was one of those sort of films that stuck with you. And I was like, so this is a spoiler again. It's when you got to the end and he's sort of peeking through, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. And you're like, oh, fuck. I came home traumatized from that movie, and it's not even that scary really. But I came home and I was like, oh Jesus, I had trouble sleeping that night. I was like, good God, because at
Oh
first
yeah.
you're like, is it a dude? Is it something else? And like now when they go past and they're looking at him while he's throwing the bodies down, he looks like a like a guy, but really like rough and rugged and kind of disheveled. And then it's like, that's not a dude. That's not a dude. And Breckenmeyer, no, that's the wrong one. What's his name? Jonathan Breck. Oh my God, he was
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
Reaper. I was gutted they didn't bring him back for Reborn.
Yeah, I've heard some things about Reborn. I almost was gonna see it. It was actually playing. I was on a gig in Springfield, and there was a movie theater across the street, and I was able to catch films after I got off the gig. And I saw I saw one great movie and one decent movie, and it was and I kept trying to go see Jeepers Creepers Reborn, um, and I just couldn't watch it. You know, like it just wasn't like I'd get off at 7 and the movie would be starting at like 6:40, so I just never ever got a chance to see it. But I did see Pearl, which I thought was fabulous. Oh my god, Mia Goth, Jesus Christ. If she's not like nominated for something, I don't know. I don't think I've seen such an amazing performance in years. Like that, it was just. Did you see Pearl?
Not yet. I've seen X, but I've not seen Pearl yet. I'm actually wanting to see that one, so I'm gonna have to wait for a bit.
I will not kill anything from it, but it is a must see. It's one of those movies that you watch, um, and if you've seen X,
Yeah.
it makes X so much more fucked.
Really? Oh
It
wow.
really does. But Mia Goth in X plays two roles. She plays the main girl, but she also plays the old lady in the
Yeah.
movie. And then this, it's just like she's, so it's like you saw those two characters, and granted, she's playing Pearl in this, but like it's like a completely different everything. It's I cannot wait for the third one. I need it like yesterday. This has just been such an incredible year for horror films. It's been
It's been awesome. It's been really good. Well, there's been a few duds, but it's been awesome for the most part.
definitely been
Let me know what you think of Jeepers Creepers Reborn, because I'm not one of these people. I will stick a movie out to the end. I didn't stick that one out, and I feel really bad. But it was just, you'll see what I mean. The first, I think I did half an hour, and you'll see what I mean. And I was just like, even Dee Wallace for me, because she's at the beginning, and I thought, well, this should be good. This should be good. She's awesome.
Oh, Dee Wallace is the best. We all worked with her on stream,
Yeah.
and then on our other buddy Greg Van Voorhees' movie Split Second. And Dee Wallace is one of the sweetest, most talented actresses I think I've ever seen. Like she's just absolutely astounding. It blows my mind. Like I like you watch her and you're like, how like it I don't even have words. It's like you're left speechless after almost every single take with her. She's such a talented human being. And I heard she's in this. I know it's like of the I've seen like a little clip of the scene, which is actually based on the true story that Jeepers Creepers is actually based on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm I'm gonna laugh if I actually do enjoy it, because I have heard such horrible things about this movie that my expectations for it at this point are so low. Like we're talking like it's like after watching Last Jedi low of going into Rise of Skywalker. Although to me, Rise of Skywalker was like a minuscule step up, but so bad in so many other ways.
I'm gonna get a message from you. I loved it. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Sorry. We're like we knew this was gonna happen. We didn't end up talking about films and it would just go different direction. I'm sure it will go again. But yeah, what other projects? We'll come back to other stuff. What other projects are you up to?
So in terms of like like other ones that I'm working on, we're just finishing up Stream, which Michael Levy directed, which I'm a producer and I was also the production designer on, which is probably one of my favorite filmmaking experiences I've had in my entire career. We spent 6 weeks during COVID, January I think of 2021, trapped. And I mean, we weren't like trapped, they didn't chain us or anything, but I mean, like we were stuck in a hotel in Gettysburg for 6 weeks during the pandemic, doing while people were still not even going outside or going to outdoor dining or anything. We were waking up every morning being like, oh, Jeffrey Combs is here. Okay, we're gonna work, we're gonna, they're shooting a scene with Jeffrey Combs, and here's Mark Holton, here's like this horror icon, here's Daniel Harris. It's like every single day there was another legend that we all grew up watching, and we were working with, it was a meshing of like a lot of people that were just everybody on this thing was a filmmaker, just super talented, and it was just we just became one giant family. I mean, the stories that we had, I was Damien and I were even talking about it, and we're saying, he was saying, he's like, we're gonna look back at this 10 years down the line and realize how absolutely lucky we were, or fortunate enough we were, to do this during the pandemic. And to me, the script for Stream, which to me everything goes by the script, like you can, doesn't matter who's in it, doesn't matter anything, it's all about the script. But the script to Stream is so well done, and I love it. It's a fun throwback, but it's a good story with good characters. It's got amazing kills, and it's truly like, it's truly going to be one of those films I think people are really going to watch, and they're gonna, they're gonna cling to. I personally, I mean, I hope as well. Um, you know, I hope that people really do connect to it. It's as I said about it, it's a horror film made by horror films who just love horror, and that's really, that's really what Stream at its core really was.
Yeah,
And
really
there's,
excited to see this one. Looks good.
yeah, it's gonna be. I'm stoked. I know Michael's very happy with it. And it really is what really connected a lot of the family. I call them all the family. Um, and there are people that like I'll never forget. I won't spoil this, but we were doing an extremely long day. And I think it was like the end of one of the first weeks, and we had one of the celebrities was there doing a death scene. We wrapped them out, and then we were told, like, they went around and said, okay, so we have to do the special effects, like the close-ups and the inserts of all that, but because this actor or actress came in on the day, like Damien had to do a mold, he had to like do it of them on the day, so he was still punching hair and all this stuff. um and they were like, okay, so like, like anyone that wants to rap and go to bed, we only just need like 3 people, blah blah blah. So we all went upstairs, we all started hanging out, drinking, eating, just chilling. 3 hours goes by, and they go, all right, we're ready, whoever wants to come could come, if not, you guys just go to bed, it's a call time for tomorrow. We went downstairs. Every single person on that set was down in that room. We were all in there. We were all watching this, and no one needed to be there except for like 3 people. And that was that. But we all stayed, and I looked around the room and I realized, I'm like, this is like the team of people that like I want to make films with for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It's because these are people that just enjoy making the film. And it's just like I said, it's one of those experiences that I don't think I will ever forget, or ever, I don't know if I'll ever top. Well, hopefully.
Hopefully it will be a franchise, because that's what Michael was saying he was hoping it will do. And I'm like, well, I did the Indiegogo, so I'm one of the backers. So I'm like,
Oh,
definitely
thanks.
next one. So, yeah, do it. Because I even when he was just talking about it, I was like, this sounds brilliant. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely putting some money into that. Because
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be in the credits for you guys. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. It was honestly really great. Like I put it in, I'll do the same with this one, even though the Indiegogo is wrapping up, I'll still put the link to it. So if anybody still wants to get something, because there's still
Yeah.
something I want. So I've seen a few things and I need to get that.
Oh no, that's awesome. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
this is, I wish I could say more. I do. But I also know Michael, it's like I was saying, about when before Terrifier 2 came out, Michael's got like laser pointers on the back of my head right now if I say too much. So, but yeah, no. So I'm super stoked for that. And then I'm working on I can't say too much about this one, but I'm doing a horror anthology. in between Night of the Living Dead while we're raising funds and stuff like that. Um, and it's called Errors of Terror. And it's going to be different pieces that are going to be throughout different like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And I can't really give too much information about that, but we have some extremely awesome people involved in it, some really cool names in it, and then and a couple of like really really cool guest directors that are going to be coming on that I'm beyond stoked that want to be a part of it. And but yeah, that's another one that I'm working on right now. I'm trying to think. There's probably other stuff. But yeah, I mean, then Night of the Living Dead's really the main thing that we're really pushing for because um, I really want the world to be able to see Laurie, Terry, and Jarlath back on the big screen yet again, all together with the other cast members that we have that I'm not allowed to announce or anything like that. But it's gonna be. I'm super excited, and I'll take any excuse to shoot with this family any day of the week.
Do you know what? Honestly, I've like done interviews with a few of you guys now, and I'm just like, they're so nice, though. They're so lovely. Like such a great bunch. Like Michael Levy is hilarious, and I just messaged uh Jason Levy a little while ago, just giving him honestly just giving him shit, and he
As everybody should.
fun of me. So I was just like, giving him shit. I need to actually do something with him soon because yeah, I think he'd be hilarious. And the only one that's escaped me, and I'm coming for him, is Damien, but he's just so busy. So
Oh, Damien is so swamped. He really is. Damien's. I think Damien has been on a plane more times than he's been in his own place. He's just all over the place. But keep trying. I'm sure you will get him eventually. He's especially right now. I mean, we've it's yeah.
I was even like to other people, like we're talking about like Terrifier anyway, but it's insane, isn't it? How crazy it's gone. Like the budget to how much they've got like back in return. I was like, please don't do Indiegogo because you can make it even more insane. You can finance 3 and 4 if need be. It'd be amazing just to. I miss Terrifier 2 Indiegogo. I was like, God damn. Yeah, it was too late. I was like, God damn, missed it. Because
Yeah.
even if I just like chucked in like 30 quid, 50 quid, something like that, I'd have been like, oh, it's all right, at least there's something. But I just missed it. I was not happy. I was like, God. But
No, but the support that everyone's been giving Terrifier to has been it's been astounding. We all just did Monster Mania, and it was mind blowing. I mean, David's line was out the door to the point where it was like competing with Robert Englund's.
I,
And it's like this wasn't just like a random year for Robert Englund. I mean, this is like I believe this is the 35th year for 30th or 35th year for Dream Warriors, and they had all the Dream Warriors there. And it was just like Terrifier was like, oh, it was a mosh pit of just Freddy fans and Terrifier fans, and it was such an amazing experience. I mean, they were going absolutely nonstop. People were just like, there was cosplays, there was little pale girls, there was Siennas, there was everything everywhere. Everyone was talking about Terrifier. And it's mind blowing. It really is like to see this film just blow up. And I'm beyond happy, proud. I mean, I'm very, very small involved in the film. I mean, I'm in the club scene. I'm scattered all over the club scene as I'm a Sugar Skull bartender that pops up in the background, and then I'm a blonde-haired prince that
you gotta see that one. I'm gonna look for
yeah,
that.
yeah. So people don't recognize me, but but I have like the blonde hair and all the stuff, and this over the top flamboyant prince outfit on, and then I'm also a guy in a gas mask. Like I'm all over that scene. But yeah, I'm like, it's to me, I'm so beyond happy for the team, and just seeing all all the success, because I also know how hard they all worked. I mean, Damien, Michael, you know, Phil, George, everybody busted their asses and put their, you know, the blood, sweat, tears, kidneys, livers, you know, uh, firstborn child, uh, and into making this film. And it shows, you know what I mean? Like, it's, you know, it is a ground to me, it is a groundbreaking slasher. um First of all, probably one of the first 2.5 hour slasher films of ever made.
Yeah.
And but also, it's also just like, what it, you know, it's now setting the bar. It's like, you know, like, people are, big studios and everything else are now looking at this little indie film and saying, oh shit, like, you know, maybe we should start listening to like the independent filmmakers now, instead of just trying to shove stuff down their throats, you know, the audience's throat. Like, you know, I mean, it's, you know, some of the best films that come out in years. Hell, I'm wearing right now, this is, you know, Nicolas Cage's shirt from Mandy. Not his actual shirt.
That is actually sure. It's like,
Yeah, but like, that was like another crowd-funded, not Indiegogo, but it was through Spectrovision, which does, you know, like, the same type of idea. And I think that, like, indie film is where it's everything is breaking out of right now, and this is such a huge push for indie filmmakers. And I'm just beyond glad, you know, for everybody, and, you know, and the ride that everyone's on right now. It's just insane.
it is insane. Yeah. You have to. Are you doing any sort of like crowdfunding for a Night of the Living Dead 2?
Not yet. Right now, for Night of the Living Dead 2, we're doing private investors and stuff like that. And but for Errors of Terror, we might be doing one for that one. Because Errors of Terror is not going to be a movie; it's going to be a series. Which is, you know, should be like about 10 episodes every season. And we want to just, you know, we want to be able to like make a new one almost every other month, basically, and really just try to tell, you know, with this team and everything like that, some of the best horror stories that we humanly can, and just keep on having stuff that's just constantly coming out and all that. um it gets a little tricky with Night of the Living Dead, just because of the title and the
Yeah.
rights, and that's a whole headache.
So, because you've done all these like really cool projects, like even if you're like it's not your baby necessarily, have you got any like fun set stories to tell us? Because Michael Levy told me one, and I got the rest of the story from David, which was the lady on stream where she really shot David. So that was hilarious.
Oh my god, I
I
still
don't mean
can't
it like
believe
that. I don't mean it like that. I don't want him
I
to get
still
shot.
can't believe that one happened. No, that's insane. That's we that day was just, you know, the woman was just like, I'm a Second Amendmenter, and you know, I almost blew you away. And I was just like, wait, what? Why is this even happening?
Oh no.
Oh my god. I've you know, I've got a million crazy stories. Um when I did actually, here's one probably from Dark Knight Rises. I was actually on the set, and I was actually wearing a Marvel t-shirt, which is, you know, as you know, it's DC. And I'm just roaming around and trying to see, and someone taps me on the back, and I turn around, and it's Christopher fucking Nolan. And he's just looking at me, and I don't know what the hell to say to him. And he goes, that's a very interesting shirt you got on there. And I, me being the idiot that I am, I just go, fuck it, Marvel trumps DC hands down. And he takes a step back, and he just looks at me. He just goes, damn, you got balls, kid. I was just like, yep, and I'm getting the fuck out of here. And I ran off, and I hid in the crowd, because I worked on the scene, the big ending scene with like all the with all the fights and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of some of the crazy stories that we You know what? Is there like any film you want to hear from in particular, or
No, I just want to see what comes out your head.
let me see.
Oh, easy.
Jesus Christ. I'm trying to. I'm racking my brain right now. Let me
I
see.
know you guys have got good fun. I know what's like some good stuff.
Yeah, no, no, no. I'm trying to. Oh shit. I'm trying to think. Let me see. Um. My brain is fried. Hold on, hold on. You'll cut out all the stammering part. Oh yeah.
I love watching it just to like pan out. It's so much fun.
Wow. Wow. I see how this is. Um. No, I can't talk about that one. Shit. That one I can't talk about. No, I can't talk about that one either. Shit. Uh,
Fun stuff. Okay, let me think. Let me think.
yeah, I know because it's like I've got some great ones, but I can't. Some of them I just can't talk about just because it puts certain people in a very 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 bad light. So I don't.
I have to message you separate. Like, right, what's going on?
Oh yeah, no, no, no. Yeah, there's some that, and I don't want to.
No, fair enough. Don't throw anybody literally under the bus. It's like, oh dear, oh no.
I'm trying. I'm really racking my brain right now. My brain is here. You know what? We'll come back to this
Come
one.
back to that one.
We'll come
I'm
back to this
just,
one. I will have something good. I'm just trying to think of one that I can actually tell that won't be bad for people.
if not, we'll just have a private message later. Not just like, you gotta tell me now. And everybody that's like ends up watching this, I'm like, hey, I'm like, I can't help.
Oh, all right. I've got one. I've got one. I've got one. Sorry, Steve. So, okay, so when we shot my movie Last Call, the first film that I did with Terry Alexander, so we shot the film with one DP, and then that person didn't wasn't available, and we had to reshoot about 60% of this movie. I won't go into details, but there was a lot of reasons why we had to reshoot it. So we had so then I called up Steve Delasala, and I was just like, "Hey, Steve, like I showed him the footage, and he's like, okay, well, I can come down and help you out." So him and Mike came down, and we did a 2-day shoot. We had to shoot one scene that we hadn't shot because we couldn't find a fucking basement, because apparently in New York, trying to shoot in the basement is harder than trying to win the lottery on like the first try. And it was just, I don't know, like, so we get into the so we shoot the first scene, and then um we had all these like insert shots. The killer uses a bow and arrow, so I wanted to shoot a bow and arrow and thing. And I did a lot of prop master stuff. So one of them was like, we were very much like, I was very set safe. I was very anal about like set safety and everything. So we're trying to do the shot of like, like the guys like shooting the bow and arrow. And we didn't have the guy who played the killer in it because he was in LA. So we have one of my friends, Paul Sheehan, who does like a lot of stunts and stuff like that. He's also in Dark Offerings. He was Connor McLeod. Um, and he we're doing the shot, and he's like pulling the arrow back, and he goes to let go, and then I say okay and hold, and he takes the arrow out, and he throws the arrow to the ground, lets go of it, and we do this like 4 or 5 times, and of course it looks like shit, it looks stupid, because I'm thinking, oh whatever, I'll just fucking cut away from it, I'll do this, I'll do that. And what ends up happening is that um he Steve just looks at me and just goes, "Why don't we just shoot the fucking arrow?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Let's just shoot the arrow. Like, I'll put up a blanket and we'll just shoot it." I'm like, "Okay." So then we shoot it. It looks fucking great. 2 takes, we're moving on after wasting 20 minutes. So then the ending of the film, spoilers if you haven't seen my film. Terry is crucified to the radio station's walls, and he's got a knife in one hand. And the killer takes an arrow and shoots it. So we wanted to do that shot, and so we're shooting it, and you know, and like it's like a straight on shot. So he takes the arrow, aims, shoots, and he's aiming very high. But because of it, because of the way he's looking, and because of we're such a low angle to make the killer look intimidating, you know, it just looks like shit. You're not even seeing it because Paul's a very tall man. So Steve's like, yo, you got to get him to lower it. So we do it again. He lowers it, shoots it, boom, nothing. That's still. All right, let's lower it again. Okay, shoot it, go again. We shoot it this time, right? And Steve feels it go over his head. And as we all know, Steve is bald. So Steve
Yeah.
felt it. He's like, wow, I really felt that one. It's a good thing that you took the tip off of it, right? And I went, yeah. I'm like, hey, Paul. And I was like, you know, and Paul is from Ireland, so he's got a good Irish accent. So I said, hey, Paul, you took the tip off that arrow, right? Dead silence. He goes, no one, the tip was on that. No one told me that there was a tip on the arrow. We should not have been Wait, what do you mean? Have I been shooting a tipped arrow? And I was like, so I guess we're going to move on now, Steve.
Oh my gosh, you're the cute.
Yeah, it was the first time we actually worked together. We almost fucking blinded Steve Delisala. So I always love to bring that up to him.
Oh shit. Okay, that was
Yeah.
scary.
Oh yeah, no. I love the old Sam Raimi way of filmmaking, I guess, is like abusing the shit out of your actors sometimes. There was there's one take actually, which is really funny. I feel bad. For Night of the Living Dead, where Clifton's character is running and he's running towards the camera and he falls and he face plants and his head hits the ground. And the first take he did it, everybody was watching it. And we were actually shooting in a tick infested woods because that's just the only woods we had around there. And I'm like, guys, it's okay. It's just ticks. Don't worry about it. You just, you know, you're gonna be fine. It's awesome. And and I'll never forget this. So Clifton's running and he falls, and the first take he fucking hits his head. Like it looks, you know, it looks good, but his arms kind of went out like a little like wonky, and I was just kind of like, like everyone's looking at me like, dude, why are we not moving on? Why are we not moving on? I'm like, I just didn't like the way his hands went. Like we can do better. So I'm like, all right, we got to do it again. So now we start doing it again and again and again, and Clifton's like holding his head up a little bit, and you can see that it's because it's a straight on shot. You can see his head's not actually hitting the ground or coming close to the ground. So I go over to him and I go, so Clifton, buddy, like, hey, so we got to do it again, but you got to like lower your head a little bit. You know, I don't want you to get hurt or anything, you know, because I love you, but like, you know, can you like sell it a little bit more, you know, like he's like, you want my head to hit the ground, right? And I go, yeah. And he goes, well, the first time my head actually hit the ground, I got an instant migraine headache. And I was like, he goes, fuck it, I'll do it again, And I walk back, and like one of my producers is just staring at me, and I go, let's just hope we get it this time. So he does it again. He hits his head, but the focus was soft. And I went, fuck it, we're moving on. And Clifton's like, you're going to use that one, right? I'm like, yeah, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, brother. We're going to use that last one. Don't worry. When I showed him the clip, when I showed him the sizzle, he's watching it like, and he watches that one, and he sees it, and he knows right away it's the first fucking take. And he turns to me, he just goes, fuck you for making me do that 5 more times, you son of a bitch.
You used the first one, didn't you, you asshole?
Oh yeah, I mean, and I cropped out his hands a little bit. I was like, oh yeah, we're shooting in like 6K. We can crop in, can't we?
Shit.
Oh yeah, no. So yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun. You know.
So yeah, so you like abusing your cast? Cool, awesome.
I mean, I threw Michael and Jason into the opening shot of it is the zombies are coming out of the water. So we had to put everybody into the ocean, you know, and David Howard Thornton's in a giant fat suit, like,
You know.
and he's in the water, and you know it's great. But like Mike and Jay, I was like, all right, you two are going in. You two have got to go in. You two have got to go in. So the two of them go into the water, and and I just kept throwing them in there. It was great. It was amazing. We did like 3 takes of them going into the ocean. But that footage, one day I will release it. And it is some of the funniest footage ever. I just absolutely love those guys. I absolutely love Mike and Jay and all of them. You know what I mean? We just have so much stupid fun. And like there's so many like great videos of all of us just messing around and all that stuff on stream, on Night Living Dead, on everything we've ever done. And yeah, so those are some of the safe stories I can tell as of now.
Okay. I just think that's great. You gotta torment them, especially like because Michael's done directing and stuff. You just gotta give him a bit of shit. He's gonna never want to ever do anything with me ever again. He'd be like, "You asshole!" I'm like, "Oh, sorry."
Oh no, no. Mike would love to do it. I have something for Michael in Night of the Living Dead. He knows about it.
Oh,
Yeah, I won't say anything. I won't spoil that, but let's just say yeah, it's gonna be fun and torturous, but it'll be great. I mean,
I love it. I love hearing all these little stories behind like movies and stuff, and how when they release like bloopers and behind the scenes footage, I'm like, gotta watch that. Like you watch the film first, obviously, because it's,
yeah.
and then I'm like, now when you get it and it goes in the back and it's like special features, like bloopers, behind the scenes, I'm like, oh yes, that's what I'm here for. That's what I want. Because like I said to my friend, I was like, I just want to sit and watch somebody like start to finish watch a movie being made. Like I don't know, I'm a bit weird. I'm not even bothered about being in it. I just feel like okay, I'll get coffee, whatever, it's cool. But I just want to watch the process because I think it's just so much fun and it's really interesting and just then some like some ways people do like special effects and stuff. Like just
Yeah.
watching that process is freaking cool. So cool. I love stuff
Well,
like that. I'm a bit
if you yeah, if you buy 4Ks, the one I can recommend right now is get the Shout Factory Alligator 4K. They're Bryan Cranston, aka Walter White.
yeah.
His first film ever was on that movie. He was a production assistant that also was one of the people that filled the alligator that blows up at the end. Spoilers. But filled it with guts and all this stuff. And the stories he tells on that Blu-ray are just fantastic. They are incredible. And it has such great behind the scenes stories and all that. And to me, one of the best commentaries of all time is anything where it's Evil Dead and it's Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi blabbing away. And it's just the amount of torture they endured or they poured onto each other is it's in it's what like dreams are made of. You know what I mean? It is it's one of those things where like you watch it and or like you're listening to it and you hear these things, you're like, I want to make a movie. I
Yeah.
want to make a movie so I can have stories like this to tell. And yeah, it's definitely it's to me it's the reason why like Blu-rays and DVDs will never die.
Yeah, definitely.
Die, die.
That bird?
Never. That's my bird. That's little Cloud, who's demanding he be announced on the thing, but yeah, he's being
Funnily
cute.
enough, that's what one of my things was like. I've just put a little thing and it's just a little statement. It just says bird. I'm not going to mention the bird, but oh, he's so cute though. If you
Yeah, he's molting right now, so he's not a happy bird.
oh, bless his heart. He's so cute. He's
Yeah.
adorable. And then I've seen on your Instagram, because I'm nosy, and I told you that the other day I wasn't like weird stalking you, but I'd seen things and I was like, this was like from 3 years ago. Is it gonna be really weird if I like it? I'll message him first and then fuck it, I like it.
Oh no, you're fine.
I was like, shit. It's so
I
awkward.
won't take your way. Don't worry.
But I've seen so many people that you've actually met. Like I've sat there going, God damn, you've met this person, you've met this person. It was like, who is the most memorable person you've actually met? And you're like, holy hell. If you know,
Oh,
you've got loads. And I was sat going, holy hell, just looking at the pictures.
Jesus.
That's a question, isn't it?
I mean, it depends. Like, there's so many different ones. I mean, George A. Romero was one of the ones that like changed my life because he gave me the best advice I've ever had in my entire life, which is when it comes to filmmaking, which is just go out and do it. And that was like life changing for me. I was like, he's like, like the only person that's stopping you is you. Grab a camera, grab a friend. If it sucks, figure it out after. But just go out and do it. That's all you have to do. You just have to go out and do it. And I was like, wow, that's the best advice I could have ever gotten. Um, you know, uh, I'm trying to think of who would be the most incredible for me. Um, I mean, I worked with Paul Rudd in Paul Giamatti. That was really cool. Paul Rudd was one of the nicest guy, and while everyone else was kissing his ass about they're like, oh my god, I love Clueless, I love this, I love that. This was like years ago, so it was before, it was, or I love 40-Year-Old Virgin, or I think he had just done I Love You Man.
Mhm.
And I'm the one that went up to him and was like, hey man, I absolutely loved you in Halloween 6.
Yes, I was hoping you said that. I was like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he bursts out laughing and he goes, holy shit, no one ever comes. This is also before like the resurgence of like, every single movie that ever came out is like classic.
yeah.
And so he's like, wow, nobody brings up that film. That was like my first movie. I didn't even know what the hell I was doing during it. I was like, yeah, man, I fucking love that movie. And they were stupidly cool. I mean, I always get starstruck whenever I meet Bruce Campbell, because he's the person that like completely made me. That was the person that changed my life, really
Yeah.
and truly. That's somebody who I was just like, wow, like this is, I mean, and he's Bruce fucking Campbell. Like, I mean, how can you not?
Man is
Uh,
funny as hell. He's brilliant. Have
yeah,
did you ever see the Evil Dead show? Sorry.
the what? Oh
The
yes,
show. Oh my god, I was dying. It was so funny.
yeah. All I could say is fuck the bootleggers because they were the ones that got that show canceled. Um, yeah, I mean, I've been able to work with a lot of, or just meet a lot of great named actors and stuff like that, and directors and filmmakers. Okay, you know who it was for me probably, and I'll tell you this story, and this is kind of humiliating. I got to meet John fucking Carpenter. Um, and I paid stupid amounts of money to go and do a signing and get a photo with him for his concert and get front row seats.
Mhm.
He was playing at the Sony PlayStation. I think it's the Sony it's Sony something theater in New York, and he's there, and all I want to do is talk to him about In the Mouth of Madness. That's all I want to do is just, I'm like, listen, I know like I've listened to commentaries, listened to interviews with him. That guy has made so many amazing films, and I know that like, I just want to talk about In the Mouth of Madness.
Mhm.
And I go over to him, and he had already been seeing quite a few people, so he was kind of like whatever. And I think the last person was a little bit like weird with him. So, or just sat there and like was just awkwardly not talking to him. So I sit down and he goes, "Hi, what's your name?" And I go, "It's Marcus." And he goes, "Hi, I'm John." And I'm like, "Hey, John, and he goes, "So, Marcus, tell me what is there to do in New York City?" And I was like, the little girl at the Bull in Wall Street. And he goes, "Girl at the Bull? What are you talking about?" I was like, "Oh, it's a statue of a girl, and she's she's standing up to Wall Street," and I'm like trying to say it so quickly just so I can literally talk to him about something else. And I'm like spitting it out, and like someone goes, yeah, they put a statue in front of the big bull, over there. And he goes, "Oh, well, is the girl hot?" And I looked at him and I went, "Well, she's like 6, so." And Carpenter just goes, signs my shit, and then takes a photo with me, and I walk off, and I'm like, did I just unwittingly call John Carpenter a fucking pedophile? Like, what the fuck is just happened to me? Oh my God, it was such like a disheartening experience for me. And I was just, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. But I was beyond starstruck with him. I just think John Carpenter is the greatest fucking filmmaker on the planet.
Have you met
And
me since then?
what's that?
I can't stop laughing. Oh God, I'm so embarrassed for you. Like,
Oh
what?
no, no, oh trust me, I'm embarrassed for myself. Like, I'm like every time I think about it, I even look at the photo. There's a photo on my thing, and I look like a 5-year-old being like this. I'm a grown ass adult, and I'm just like, I just called him a fucking pedophile. And I'm like, what is wrong with my fucking brain? Why would I do this?
I do shit
You
like that
know?
all the time. It's fine. Have you met him since then? Have you managed to like make?
No, I have not managed to meet him since then, unfortunately. I wish, but I'll tell you this much, I'm definitely not going to bring up that experience with him.
And explain like this is what I actually wanted to talk to you about.
Oh yeah, no. I just know I'm just gonna go straight in and be like, in the mouth of madness, go, blah, 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 blah. And meanwhile, I'm handing them fucking They Live, which worries me because it's like I call them a couple of cursed DVDs. I have DVDs that are cursed. I have signed. I have a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh wow, my boss actually came up for that one. Massacre. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre DVD. And I got it signed by, I used to be friends with Gunnar Hansen. So I had it signed by him. Then he died. Marilyn Burns signed it, who plays Sally Hardesty. Then she died. I then went to Toby Hooper. Got him to sign it. Then he died.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, I know. So when it was the last Rock and Shock, which was my hometown con, and I was there with actually all the Fuzz guys, but John Dugan, who plays Grandpa, and Ed Neal, who plays the hitchhiker, were there.
Yeah.
So of course I go up to them and I hand it to them and I say, look, I'm sorry. And they're like, sorry for what? So I tell them the story, basically how everyone that signs it dies. And I'm like, I need to sign, but I'm sorry. I really hope this is a fake curse. Ed Neal thought it was hilarious. He goes, fuck it, I'm gonna sign it. John Dugan didn't think it was too funny. He was cool. He wasn't a jerk about it. He was just like, oh, okay. I was like, no,
I'm not doing it. I didn't do it. What?
I'm not the one that's cursing these DVDs. And like, luckily so far my They Live is not cursed, although I got Rowdy Piper on there. May he rest in peace. Great fucking guy. But I got him on there, and I got John Carpenter on there, and then Meg Foster. I need to get Keith David and Peter Jason. Oh, and I got Peter Jason on there. Good old Peter Jason. That was a cool one. I love him. Maybe the coolest person I've ever met, and I've met him a few times. And because I go to every single one, he is actually my favorite new filmmaker, and it's Edgar Wright. And all my friends can't stand it anymore about how much I fucking talk about Edgar Wright, but I think Edgar Wright is one of the greatest filmmakers to pick up a camera and say action. I think after Shaun of the Dead, I went to a early premiere of Hot Fuzz, and he was there with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Then I saw them again when they did their World's End tour, and they were all there. And then when they released Spaced, Nick Frost wasn't there, but Simon Pegg was, and Edgar Wright was, and then the woman that plays his ex-girlfriend in Shaun of the Dead, who was the female lead in Spaced, was there, and she signed my Shaun of the Dead DVD as Nick Frost, and which I thought was hilarious. But I geeked out, and then I saw Edgar Wright again for Baby Driver. I missed him for Last Night in Soho, and I'm still mad about that because I had something else going on, and I'm still regretting it. But I think that was one of the coolest things, is constantly meeting Edgar Wright, and I think he's yet to make a bad movie, his love of cinema knows no bounds, and I think the coolest moment in my like thing that I wish I could have been there for. I'm a huge Charles Bronson fan. I'm a huge Bill and Ted fan. Alex Winter, when I met him, I scared the shit out of him. I'll tell you that in 1 second, and I'll
Right?
move. But then Edgar Wright flew sorry, Alex Winter flew to London to host a screening of Death Wish 3. It's one of my favorite Charles Bronson movies. And Edgar Wright went and moderated it. And to me, a screening of Death Wish 3 with Alex Winter, moderated by Edgar Wright, is like the dream screening of that fucking movie. And I wish that there was like footage, somebody like filmed it and put it online. There's gotta be somebody out there, anybody that has seen it and went there and filmed it, please. But I met Alex Winter at a con, and scared the ever loving fuck out of this guy because I geeked hard. It was bad. I was like, I looked up and there's fucking Bill from Bill and Ted, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my god, okay, Marcus, be cool, don't be a fucking idiot, be cool, be cool. You know, like you've met this person, you've met that person, you've done this. You don't need to geek out on this guy. Just, you know, and I'm giving myself a pep talk as I start walking up, and he comes out from behind the table to come out to the front, and he starts doing the head bob, like that head bob, and I lost it because he does it naturally, I guess, but he did it, and I just lost it. And I went, dude, man, I fucking love Bill and Ted, and you're fucking Bill. And oh my god, like my mother never used to watch me, let me watch it, blah, 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 blah. And I just and I start like diarrheaing at the mouth, and he starts backing away from me and going back behind his fucking table. And I'm just like onslaught, just like, dude, I fucking love you, man. Like you're incredible. Like blah 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 blah. He's like, thanks, dude. Thanks, dude. I'm like, is it cool if I take a photo with you? I promise I'm not some crazy fucking fan or anything like that. I'm just geeking out right now. I took a photo. It's one of my profile pictures, and I look like a fucking goober in this fake photo because I freaked him the fuck out. But yeah.
Kind of, I wouldn't say like when I met Damien at the For the Love of Horror convention, the very first thing I said to him was, apart from hello, because you know you say hello first. I went, your movies are fucking insane, and he just went, he started laughing and went, thank you. And I was like, of all the things to say, what the fuck was that? It's like, oh, I'm supposed to speak to him about special effects. Didn't happen.
That's what happens.
He signed my thing. I gave him my phone because I had a message from Michael Levy, so he took my phone and was texting away. I was like, okay. And they went, thanks, bye, and run away. I was like, you're so lame. I was like, what are you doing? We did do stupid things though, don't you? Just like, shit.
Oh, you just totally do because you know, like you get so excited, you see the dumbest shit sometimes. I mean, you know, I called John Carpenter a fucking pedophile, so you know.
um, I think you won that one.
That's not what I want to win. Okay, I want to lose that one. I really do. I do not want to. Yeah.
Bless your heart. That was hilarious. So I'm coming to the end of it because I don't even know. This has got no structure to it whatsoever.
Oh, you're totally fine. Those are the best ones.
Yep. So we did these three things. So actors that you would love to work with. That's the first one.
Okay. Oh God, where does the list even end? I I'm obviously a living, right? Not just like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. So
Yeah,
that's
got
sure.
the living. Somebody that's probably attainable as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So Bruce Campbell is top of my list. I dream about working with Bruce Campbell. I also fear working with Bruce Campbell because, you know, God forbid we don't get along or something. I just, you know, I want to work with Nicolas Cage. I'm a huge Cage head, so I just love Nicolas Cage, and I just really, I mean, him, Justin Long.
Oh yeah.
You know, I would love. I've been wanting to work with, you know, I think Barbara Crampton is absolutely incredible. I'd love to work with her. Um, um, Miyake, I think I'm probably fucking up her name, but Miyake Monroe or Miyaka Monroe. She was in It Follows
Oh
and
okay.
guest. I think she's absolutely incredible. I'd love to work with her. There's a long list of people that I'd love to work with. Some smaller names would be like James McCaffrey. I've been wanting to work with, who was the voice of Max Payne.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've been dying to work with him, and of course, anybody from Breaking Bad or but yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of, like the list just goes on and on and on. But like really, 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 um, I've had. I would love to work with Cranston.
Mm.
I think Cranston would be. I see how he is on sets. I see how like the type of actor that he is, and I just love that type of actor and his energy and everything. And I just really, really, really want to work with with him. Plus, it's Walter fucking White. Like, how could I not want to work with Walter White?
Yeah, and he seems so like imposing, doesn't he? It's like because I've watched Walking. I was trying to say Walking Dead. I went Breaking Bad. Oh dear. And I've watched it, so it gets more like sinister as the seasons go on. You're like, Jesus
Oh
Christ!
yeah,
Like, man's intense, isn't he? Definitely a very intense dude. But
yeah, he is.
he seems
Yes,
lovely though, and he seems really funny in interviews.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No, but he's like the sweetest guy too. Like, he's just laid back, chill, just very much, just like down to earth guy. You know, which is great.
yeah, sweet one. Yep. And then I've got another one for you. This is my one of my favorite ones. Favorite movie, horror movie. Favorite horror movie kills.
Oh, favorite horror movie kills.
Hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's a good one. Um,
It's one of my favorites.
Shit, that's I need a minute to think on that one because that's um oh wow, yeah.
Somebody, she's gonna flip when I say this. Somebody actually messaged me. She watched the Michael Levy interview. I asked him the same question because I'm asking everybody that. And she said her favorite Nightmare on Elm Street death was when Glenn gets sucked into the bed, and I was like, that was awesome. So that's a
Oh
shout
yeah.
out to her.
No, that one, I mean, that one's incredible. There's like so many different amazing kills in all these movies. I'm trying to think of like some like I, for me, it's not even a great, it's not even, it's just kind of like the buildup of everything. But I love Quint's kill in Jaws. I think that's, to me, it's so visceral and guttural, and it's just like it's such an incredible buildup of everything for that character.
Yeah, and
I
his
love that.
scream haunting, isn't it?
You got Cheryl Shelley's kill in the original Evil Dead, which I think is, for me, was at the time was one of the most disturbing fucking things I ever saw. That fucked me up so bad. I literally had two dogs at the time, and I was clinging, I had them in headlocks because I'd never seen a film where you see the bodies getting chopped up. Um I'm like looking at my films at my collection right now to try to figure out. I'm like, because it's top 10, you know what I mean? It's like uh I'll tell okay, Rhodes' death, Day of the Dead, I
Okay.
think is arguably one of the greatest deaths. Um Him screaming choke on him, that's fucking that death is probably one of the greatest deaths, and it's still to this day so fucking realistic and so great. Um, you know, I'm not, I mean, I'm shit. There's so many deaths that are just rattling around in my head. Um,
I was going to give you a heads up about this, and I thought, no, I want to see what.
yeah, like I want to have like there's like so many that like my mind's just like overrun with everything. You know what I mean? Like um, there's the one of the main deaths in fucking Hellraiser. You know what I mean? Like um I'm really Yeah, I need a few minutes for that one because there's so many. I mean, or one of the best is in Nightmare on Elm Street. You got Glenn, but you also got the marionette.
Hmm.
That one's incredible. The uh the Roach House
Oh,
kill.
yeah, that's a good one.
That one's fucking fantastic.
Her,
Um,
like when it comes out of her like elbows, you're like, ugh.
oh
Oh,
God, yeah.
oh,
No, that one's
that,
that one gets that one gets me all the time. Um, you know. Yeah, there's so many.
so many. I don't think people would expect to come onto a interview and expect us like, here's your homework.
Yeah, no. I'm like for me, I'll bet you right now, like I'll think about this for the rest of the day and I will message you
That's fine.
10, 10 strong, like 10 of my favorite fucking kills. Um, I'm there's just depending upon the series, depending upon the film, depending upon the time that it is, like it always alters for me. Some of them are stupidly gory. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, shit. And most recently, I will give it up for Damien. You know what I mean? Like that bedroom fucking kill is that's a fucking kill. That's a fucking kill. That I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. Um,
That was
you
a
know.
mess.
Oh, yeah, it's a total mess. I mean, or like even for me, the Wood Chipper, and I fucking love Tucker and Dale versus Evil, but the kills in that movie are actually surprisingly like incredible. Like the kid that just throws himself right into the fucking wood chipper, that one's
Yep,
insane. You
a
know,
good fucking movie.
or hell, the reanimated corpse in fucking Reanimator, where like it's just like running around butt ass naked and they're all trying to find him and shit and they have to blow his head off and shit. Like there's so many deaths. This is a strong question to put someone on the spot for. So
Not necessarily a death, but it was one of my favorite. It kind of weirded me out, and it was from Return of the Living Dead Part 3, where they've got the zombie in the first reanimating it. So he's just all hung up, and he's just like, and, oh, he's so fucking creepy. I know he's not. He's dead, and then he's reanimated. Then they shoot him, and then he still comes back. It's like, oh my god. I was like, that one still creeps me out as an adult. I'm just like, oh fuck no.
Return of the Living Dead 3
Brilliant
is
movie.
like is like the bastard child of the series. It's like it's the one where like they went serious in a way with it and it works so fucking well. And I do not think that film gets
Oh,
anywhere near as much credit as it deserves.
it's fucking.
Um
Julie,
it's
I've cosplayed her at Halloween, obviously not naked, because you're gonna. I've like been her going out. She's just fucking cool. That's why I've got piercing because of her. She's gorgeous.
really.
Yeah, she was on my wall when I was about 7, 8, whatever, and I was looking at her going, "That's so cool. She's so pretty." So part of my aesthetic is a zombie.
That's amazing. That's absolutely incredible.
Crazy.
Um Yeah, no, like she was, yeah,
Cute.
she's so fucking amazing in that movie. And like when the door opens and you actually see her and she's all like everything. It's
Brilliant.
such a different type of zombie too. And it's to me, it's one of the most original at the time, original transformations of a human to zombie.
Hmm.
Normally they come back, and it's like the same thing over and over, but like that one, it was like it was self-mutilating. It was a different type of transformation, which to me is so fucking refreshing, and I just absolutely love that.
Yeah,
You know,
she's one of the best zombies. And
she
the
really,
because
yeah.
I want to get like a whole left leg. I'd like the whole thing covered in like horror characters, and she's definitely on there because she's just beautiful.
Oh yeah, no, she definitely deserves to be on there. I'd love to work with her actually.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
really.
yeah. One of my guilty pleasures in life that I don't really admit to a lot of people is I used to watch the OC, and she was on that show. Um, don't ask me why I watch the OC. Don't ask me or any of that. But yeah,
No judgment.
um,
Okay.
Yeah.
And then my last one, which is and I've picked one just for you. I've actually thought about it. So I'll give you one. So I do a movie swap at the end because that's how you find awesome horror movies. And we've talked about a few anyway. And I know you like fucked up films. So it's not exactly horror, but it is messed up. So my swap for you is one that I'm recommending is a movie called The Seasoning House. Holy crap. Have you seen that?
Okay. No, I haven't.
About human trafficking.
The
And
Seasoning House.
it's got, I'm gonna butcher his name. I'm not gonna butcher his name, I just can't remember his name. Sean Pertwee? Is it Sean Pertwee? I can't remember his bloody name. He was at the convention. But he was in Dog Soldiers anyway. And
Oh, Sean Pertwee?
yes, thank you. I was brain farting, I couldn't remember. But he's in it, and oh my god, I was watching it going, is this like it's proper messed up. It's brilliant, but it's messed up. Like there's a scene where it's claustrophobic, and you're sat there and you're like, because I'm very claustrophobic anyway, so I'm watching now, I'm getting anxiety, like hands are sweating, heart's racing. I'm like, oh god. So it's just brilliant, but it's really messed up, and the subject matter is really dark because they're like exploitation. I'm trying to think how to say it without saying it for YouTube, because they'll get naughty. Like they're put into work, if you know what I mean. Like the women are put into work. There you go. That's the best I can say. And it's about this girl who's in this house with all these other girls, and she makes a friendship. And oh, honestly, I don't want to tell you too much about it. It's giving me goosebumps, but it's really messed up movie.
All right, I'll have to check that one out.
I know you would appreciate a good
Yeah.
talk. And then if you've got any, I'll take your recommendations and try and watch them.
So this one, I made a few friends watch this one. They hated it. To me, I don't know why I fucking love this movie. I just do. And if I ever do get a chance to find out who the fuck owns this film, I will totally find a way to buy the rights and I will remake this movie because it should be remade. But it's a movie that came out in the 80s. This movie ran out of money midway through production, so they shut it down. And then they had to start it up again with a whole new crew because they refused to pay the crew. It's one of those movies. The writer is dead, the director is dead. It is impossible to find anybody still involved in the film that's willing to talk about it. It's a movie that basically came out right after Gremlins, and they were like, "Hey, let's make a slasher version of Gremlins," and it has some great scenes. But the third act, they ran out of money. They just extended their second act's ending and just cut the credits. And it's called Neon Maniacs.
Oh, okay.
It's cheesy as hell, but I fucking love this movie, and it's about all these monsters that live under the Golden Gate Bridge, that come out for reasons, and go around and they kill people, but they're like each one is like based on like each maniac monster
Mhm.
is has their own like power or whatever. Like there's what called Archer, and he's like an archer, and then there's like one that's a samurai, and then there's one that's like a half ape, and there's like one that's like just has a noose, and there's like a military one, and their weakness is fucking water.
Okay.
But they live underneath the Golden Gate Bridge, so like the logic in this movie is out the window. You know, there's like a little girl that's in it that's obviously in her like late 20s that's supposed to be playing like a 12-year-old. It's hilarious. It's so amazing. If you can find it, check it out. I always love making people watch this movie and having people be like, "Why the fuck did you make me watch?" But then people are also like, "Oh yeah, I can see why you like this movie."
Really random type of movie.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's totally
Yeah.
right.
I love that. I'll have to have a look for it because I've never heard of it before, but
I
it sounds,
think it's on Tubi. I think.
see if I can find it. But yeah. But that's me, I'm done. You made it to the end of this whatever.
Well, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. It was really good fun to actually sit down and actually having a chat with you. It was really, it's nice to actually see you face to face and have a conversation.
No, same. I mean, we've been chatting for a while now, so no, it's definitely nice.
I know it kind of ran. I was like, oh God, I've made this like go longer than it should have done. I tried to have like a minimum time, and I was like, whoops, got chat.
Oh shit. Oh yeah, no,
Oh, you're
no.
fine. You're fine. I was just like, I don't like trying keeping people too long.
Oh,
Because yeah,
you're totally fine. You're totally fine.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I'll message you in a bit.
No, yeah. Yeah, hit me up.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Marcus.
Yes, thanks for having me. I had a blast.
Me too. Thank you. And I'll speak to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.